This looks like a privacy story, but the real story is labor. Meta is not just watching workers. Meta is turning routine computer behavior into training data for AI agents. That distinction matters, because it changes how you should read the next wave of so-called computer use AI. TechCrunch, following Reuters reporting, says Meta is launching an internal tool that captures employee mouse movements, button clicks, keystrokes, and drop-down navigation. Meta's own explanation is the key line. If it wants agents that can help people complete everyday tasks on computers, the models need real examples of how humans actually use computers. That is the bigger shift than it looks. A lot of people still talk about AI as if the main scarce input is text from the internet. But once you want agents that can operate real software, text is not enough. You need behavioral traces. You need the messy, boring, embodied layer of work, where people click, how they recover from mistakes, which menus they open, how they move through ugly enterprise interfaces, and what a successful task sequence actually looks like. So yes, this is a surveillance story. But it is also a training data story, and that second part is more important than most people realize. Because once companies believe ordinary desktop work is valuable agent fuel, office behavior stops being just labor and starts becoming extractable model input. Your workflow is no longer only something your employer buys. It is something the employer can mine. That has three downstream effects. First, the bottleneck for useful agents moves from model size to data rights. Whoever owns the richest computer use traces gets a serious advantage. Second, the trust fight gets uglier. The promise of AI assistants starts colliding with the reality that building them may require capturing much more of how people actually work. Third, organizations will start separating high-value human judgment from low-value repeatable interface behavior much more aggressively, because the repeatable part is exactly what can be recorded, modeled, and automated. This is why the meta story matters more than it looks. It is not just a company crossing a line. It is a preview of a new economic logic. Before software agents can replace routine computer tasks, someone has to capture those tasks in enough detail to train them. And once that logic takes hold, every company building agents will be tempted to ask the same question: where do we get the behavioral data? My verdict: people think this story is about worker monitoring. It is really about the industrialization of human workflow as AI training material, and that changes what work, consent, and software competition are going to look like next.